Welcome back to Bao News Network. We are actually working on our latest update, and we are taking a closer look at international affairs with the protests in Cuba and Haiti, severe unrest in the region of the Caribbean, as well as taking a closer look and also the stock market, as well as the current stats with the weather. So, as we get into our latest edition of Bao News Network, we're actually taking a closer look at what's actually happening in the region of Cuba. Dozens of protests, up to 100 people have been arrested in the region, and Cubans are actually protesting against the economic strife as a result of not only the sanctions by the United States, but also region is actually in turmoil over lack of tourism dollars as a result of the pandemic. The pandemic is actually increasing in severity in Cuba, and it's actually causing a lot of issues to escalate, which is leading to a lot of protests in the region. We're actually seeing also in the region of Miami. There are actually protests actually happening in the region of Miami, diaspora for Cuban Americans who are actually concerned about the living conditions in the region of Havana, Cuba as a whole. As protests continue to escalate, most of the residents in Cuba are now stating that security forces are actually lining the streets of Cuba all across the region, and there have been hundreds of arrests. And one of the main issues that are escalating the feeling of unease on the island is the internet blackouts. Internet is actually controlled by a company called Atexia, and it's actually monitoring and severely tapping into the availability of Cubans to have access to WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media outlets. So we do hope that the situation will improve and not escalate into additional unrest in the region of Cuba. But we do see that the diaspora in Miami is fully supporting the residents of Cuba as they continue to deal with the issues of the economy, price hikes, lack of food, medicine, as well as issues escalated that have been escalated by the pandemic. Most notably, tourism. Tourism is a very, very powerful lifeline for many Cubans. Because it brings in foreign exchange, and as a result of the pandemic, tourism has been significantly impacted negatively and adversely on the region. Also in the Caribbean region, we're also taking a look at escalating unrest in the region of Haiti, as people and the Haitian citizens are seeking answers after the assassination of the President Jovenel Moise, and they are seeking more democratic solutions. At this particular time, there doesn't appear to be, to international audience, appears to be a power struggle. We want to know exactly who's actually in charge of the country. Is the constitution being enforced on the island, and what about the economic conditions for the people, as well as how is the pandemic being controlled? As far as, and also getting access to vaccines for the Haitian people is also a major issue. It should be a major concern for the international community that poor nations such as Haiti, have had very, very limited, if not zero, access to the vaccines to help stem the spread of the pandemic issues that we're dealing with all around the world. And this is going to be one of the major issues going forward. Now we have to deal with a power struggle as a result of the assassination of the president there. So this is also leading to significant unrest in the region. As we take a closer look at the Caribbean as a whole, a majority of the countries in the Caribbean have had very, very little access to vaccines, and that is going to be an issue going forward as far as vaccine inequality and inequity as we go forward for into the second half of this year. And as we collectively try to fight the ravages of this pandemic, it's important for more wealthy nations to consolidate their efforts to try and assist nations such as Haiti and other nations in the Caribbean to try and get vaccines out to the people. So this is one of the major concerns that we're looking at this time. In regards to the weather here in the continental United States, we are seeing hot weather across the nation with special advisory alerts for the Rockies, Arizona, as well as South Florida. We do see some severe thunderstorms actually in the region of along the corridor between Nevada going into Arizona. We did see on the Doppler radar yesterday severe storms in southern Arizona. We do anticipate that there will be more thunderstorm activity in the region of southwest Florida all the way into southeast Florida. Additional thunderstorm activity in the region. And also we're seeing convection as well as steep lapse rates in the region of southeastern Montana going into Wyoming down into the region of Nebraska. So we are seeing some severe areas as far as special advisories for from the Storm Prediction Center for a corridor between Nevada and Arizona, which desperately needs increased rain and precipitation in the region. And we also see some additional thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms in the region of Montana into Nebraska, as well as Pennsylvania and some regions of the Northeast. So we are looking at some severe issues in the region, those regions, and we do anticipate increased thunderstorm activity in South Florida for this evening going into tonight. We're going to be monitoring the situation with the wildfires, and these the wildfires mentioned here are what's called Type 1 incidents, and we're looking at West Lolo in Montana, the Dixie Fire in Idaho, the Lava Fire in California, also the Salt Fire in California, as well as the Beckworth Complex, California wildfire, as well as the Lou Rock fire in Oregon. As you can see, as far as the acreage is concerned, some of these wildfires are these type 1 incidents are severely impacting the region, and we're talking about thousands of acres that are actually in peril. Notably, we're looking at the lava incident in Northern California, jeopardizing 25,000 acres as a result of the wildfire there, and also in the Salt Fire in Wildfire Region for California, 12,000 acres at risk. As also the Beckworth Complex, California, 38,000 acres. So coupled with the fact that in the southwest region there's severe drought, we're also looking at severe type 1 incident wildfires in the region that do require a significant amount of resources to try and tackle as we go into the summer. And we anticipate that those fires, there'll be some containment, but we do anticipate that there will be more escalations as the temperatures continue to rise. As we move forward into our latest stock market update, we can see that the stock market for the Dow closed at minus 107.39 and Nasdaq closed at 55.59. For our own personal portfolio, we had four top. Even though the market was down for both the Dow and the Nasdaq, we did see that we had four movers: Microsoft at 1.32% closing, and Apple at 0.8%, Walmart 0.29%, and Visa at 1.88% up for today for our own portfolio. So as we move forward into our next update, please make sure that you tap that like button if this information served you well, and also keep in mind that we have the people of Haiti as well as Cuba in our thoughts and in our prayers. Of course, those residents who were impacted by the hot weather in the region of the northwest, most notably Northern California, Oregon, Washington, and also Montana. Um, Issues with air quality has arisen. We anticipate as we get closer and closer into the summer that the situation may escalate to the point where more of these fires will increase their turmoil in the region, increased acreage that will be affected, and we are praying and hoping for increased precipitation in these regions to lessen the impact of these fires. As far as the temperatures are concerned, we do see in Seattle region 69 degrees, Medford, Oregon 88 degrees. In the region of San Francisco, it's a little bit cooler along the coastline, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, Los Angeles, 80 degrees. But if we go a little bit more inland into Phoenix, Arizona, which we anticipate more scattered thunderstorms in the region later on today, the temperature is 106 degrees Fahrenheit. And along in Texas, we're looking at Houston in the low 70s, Dallas 93 degrees. For Miami, as the storms start to roll in a little bit more in South Florida, temperature will be 76 degrees. And for Atlanta, it'll be 84. And New York City is a little bit cooler with 75 degrees Fahrenheit. We do anticipate more convection as well as scattered thunderstorms in the region of the Northeast going into the remainder of the day and tonight. So residents of the region, especially in Pennsylvania, as well as south states such as Virginia, should anticipate increased thunderstorm activity going into the night as well as possibly even the early morning. So that is actually our update here at Bow News Network for today, taking a closer look at international turmoil and protests in the region of Cuba, Haiti, as well as Miami. The Cuban diaspora is supporting the people of Haiti as and also supporting the people of Cuba as they try to address a lot of the issues with the economy, power struggle, as well as lack of food, medicine, and shortages of different kinds that have actually been exacerbated by the pandemic. So we do have our thoughts and our prayers are with the people of Cuba as well as Haiti, and also we're praying and hoping that going forward into the region of the Northwest, that the fires will be lessened and increased precipitation will arrive so that we will lessen the impact of the drought in the region. So that is our update for About to the Weather today, and please make sure that you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we will continue to bring you updates as we go forward with our latest updates for Bow to the Weather, which is now going to cover international news, weather, stocks, and much more. Thank you for watching and have a great day.